Well, good morning. It's November 23rd, 2021, and I've got not just one, but two dogs. You can see, got another dog right here. Let's do the Good Life meditation for today. And by the way, this is my very first video from the new space here, my new little office. I'll show you the rest of it when it's set up, but it's getting there. So the Good Life meditation is what I do every day to remind myself of my objectives and principles. I usually do this in the morning while I'm walking these guys. They've already had their walk. It was very dark outside, so I decided to come back and do it here. I always do this aloud, unless there's people everywhere. And I try not to do it fast. And basically what I simply do is I recite every one of the objectives and principles in my book, Going Alone, which I should probably prop up over here. I should probably do that. I've got it up there, but I should probably put it down here because it's the place where I talk about these things. So here we go. And I'm trying to find a way to do this so I can do this as a part and parcel of my daily routine. Here we go. Objective number 1 is to be always ready to die, to have my life affairs in such order that I can keel over today and things are as settled as they could be. That includes my relationships, my family, my all my money matters, my finances, and my whatever artistic things I wanted to do in life. To keeping in the F theme, we'll call that fame. So the family, finances, and fame are in order. That's my first objective. Objectives are things that I'm striving towards. Principles are things that guide me along the way. The second objective is to make good and effective use of time, to not waste these precious days. Third one is something called, it's hard to do this when it usually spills out easier, but I'm thinking about the camera. So be always ready to die, good and effective use of time. Cultivate good emotional reactions is the next one. To not fly off the handle or to let my emotions run away from me. I use various techniques to try to keep on top of that. Next is the performance of good actions, just to do good things throughout the day. Next is, after that, is the recognition of true limits and true opportunity, to recognize what it really is and is not within my control. Oh, this is really dangerous. The little dog, when he sits like that, he's like an explosive. If he sits in a certain position, he would jump up and bite me all of a sudden. So I better hold him like this, otherwise he is going to bite me. The last objective is to, hold on. Be always ready to die, good and effective use of time, develop and maintain good and sound life principles, cultivate good emotional reactions, perform good actions, recognize true limits and true opportunities. What are the real limits of what I'm able to do and what opportunities really are out there, and then do one thing slowly. Try to focus on just doing one thing at a time, not multitasking. Those are the 7 objectives. Let's go through the principles. And I'll probably go a little fast this morning. I'll work my way up to doing this more publicly, right? First is principle number 1 is the principle of war. To be always at war with everything that I hold true and everything that you hold true too. To question these things and to pursue them. Next is the principle of reason and the sub-principles. Some of these principles have sub-principles. These are the pieces that make it up. The sub-principles of war, of reason, are honesty, objectivity, and doubt. And reason is the tool that I use in the pursuit of the war. Number 3 is the homunculus, the little mortal who lives inside my head. A little man, a fictitious little man who will die when I die and is my substitute for a soul. After that comes the Anchorhold. The Anchorhold is the place where we suffer and die. Again, it's in the mind. It's the trapped, sealed place where the homunculus lives, where he or she will never escape. After that comes the homunculus, comes this Anchorhold, comes the home of good and evil. The home of good and evil is the catalog of right and wrong, what we believe is right and wrong about in the way we should live our lives. And that catalog that we keep, it is in fact this list of objectives and principles that I'm reciting right now. After that comes after the home of good and evil. Purpose. My purpose are three: biology, virtue, and mission. Biology is the function of trying to get our genes into another generation. Virtue is biology, virtue, and mission. Oh yeah, virtue is to live a virtuous life. Virtue is defined as the pursuit of the well-being of thinking creatures, and to not actively hinder that. And biology, virtue, and mission. A mission is whatever mission I choose in life. My mission is to try to continue to develop these principles and to share them, because I think they're useful. They've helped me a great deal to form a purposeful life in the absence of divine guidance. Really, this all factors on my idea, my apprehension that God does not exist, or if God exists, it is not evident and appears to be rather disinterested in us. So then what, right? So then we'll have to make some objectives and principles to make life worthwhile. So that was my purpose. So next after that is the atomic principle. Usually I would pick up some sand and drop it if I was in the desert. Atomic principle is the concept that everything is bits and pieces, atoms basically, that will fall into, we never really are destroyed. Even if I'm cremated, my atoms and energy become more atoms and energy and just continue on. Doesn't mean I continue on this consciousness, but the atomic principle is a reminder that we are constantly changing and flowing, that we are here for just a little while in this instantiation of matter and energy. Atomic principle. The next one is the principle of nature. Everything has, it's not nature, capital N, it's nature, that everything has a particular nature. Rudy, for example, has a nature that if he sits in a certain position, he will bite me after 5 minutes. Ollie has his nature to just be the good boy. You're a good boy too. And, and the nature of trees is to rise and then eventually fall, and the nature of the sun is to be warm. The nature of, you get the idea, right? You and I too, we have our natures as well. Part of our constitution, our mental and physical constitution. It is now in my nature at 57 to begin to feel aches and pains, to sensing my mental decline, etc., etc. After the principle of nature is the principle of the pilot ride. The idea that we are all a little more than automatons without free will. I don't think free will is real. I think we are impelled by past precedent. The dominoes falling through time. After that comes the maturity, the concept of maturity, the principle of maturity, then sub-principles of wisdom and fortitude. That we can gain. The wisdom is what we gain from experience, and fortitude is the strength to carry on and persevere towards what we believe are better ends. After that comes the principle of principle of nature, pirate ride, maturity. Temperance. Very Stoic principle. The idea that we should temper our wants, food, drink, work, play, sex, whatever it is. Control it, and be masters of our passions. And then the one to follow after that is the principle of the Feast of Offal, the waste and byproduct of our intemperate living, when we do not control our passions, especially our emotions. We are apt to blow up and explode into the world, especially in a public setting, or at least in a familial setting, spreading that pain and anxiety and hurt to others, who then in turn do the same. And it's a feast, consuming the offal of our upset and then passing it on to others. Something to be avoided. After that comes in, I think that's number 10. 11 is distraction. To be distracted by everything, work and play, and drama, aches and pains, whatever the case may be, grandchildren, whatever the case may be, to distract us from This you can't see. Now they kind of be on the walls, but the great indifference, this awful blank that appears to pervade the universe that we do not want to see. So we fill our lives with everything else. After that comes the best seat in the house. To not want to be anywhere else, or be doing anything else, but to be okay with who I am, where I am, and what I'm doing right now. Next comes the Path of Wildness. The way it's a route forward, upward, through challenge, and into a new life. The Path of Wildness is easy to find. The course of a stream, leaves blown in the wind, beast track through the brush, and the direction of our first inclination. And I'm going to put the book right there. After the Path of Wildness comes the risk of avoiding risk, the deep and surface level risks of life. The deep risks being, the surface level risk being not getting a good education, finding someone to spend your time with, saving for retirement, buying a home, etc., etc. A lot of things that I failed to do. That if we do that, it gives us the safe and secure. But at what cost? Maybe some people can have also realize the deep satisfactions, the deeper risks of life, of not actualizing on what our interests are. Note to self, bring a cup of tea next time. And to basically live a dream, right? That's the deep level risk, is that we throw away our dreams in order to secure the security. Or the opposite, the converse, which is that we pursue our dreams at the cost of security later in life and in the present. Risk of avoiding risk. The sin and damnation. There are, without God, I don't believe that sin is real, because there's nobody to sin against. But I have created my own sins that I define, and there's sins against virtue, and those sins are credulity, willingness to believe over willingness to believe, credulity, faith, which is masking uncertainty with certitude, simply saying, I'm going to believe I'm going to believe anyway. Evidence of, as they say in the Bible, evidence of things unseen. I mixed up the order. It's usually easier, but I changed it. I used to say falsity, but I don't say that anymore. I have to fix that. Credulity, faith, falsity, credulity, faith, superstition, dogma. Superstition is just, of course, superstition is the overt recognition that what we believe or what we're proposing is on the fringe. Dogma is authoritative, prescriptive values, and authority is the other one. Authority coming from, just because they say so. Those are the sins in my worldview. Falsity, well, I'm going to go ahead and say it. Falsity, credulity, faith, superstition, and dogma. And gosh darn it, I did change it. It's not those 5. It's another 4 plus a 1. Those last 4 plus 1, I took off credulity, falsity. I'll get it right. Like I said, this is my first time to do this kind of publicly in a long time. So after sin and damnation is complete oblivion when we're dead. Remember that atomic principle? Yeah, just gonna wipe out, complete oblivion. And there'll be no chance, because there is no heaven or hell. There'll be no final reunion with the ones we love. There'll be no final reconciliation with those that we left on bad terms with. And there'll be no final justice for those that did bad things, because there's apparently no justice giver. So complete oblivion. Then after that comes the Great Life Adventure, one or more centerpiece events of our life, a marquee event maybe. Like whatever we did in life, that would be the thing that we remember throughout our life and harken back to. The football heroes, touchdown or homecoming winning touchdown, right? Pass. The World War II veterans participation in Iwo Jima. It's survival, no less. Whatever it is that, the fact that you went to USC, whatever it is, the thing that is the marquee, like I said, event that will be the thing that kind of defines you and you reflect back on. And you can have more than one of those in life, but typically most of us have one big one that usually comes early and we remember it all of our lives. I call that the Great Life Adventure. It kind of defines us in a way. After that comes the season of philosophy, a time to record what we learn along the way. My time is kind of now, or maybe it's just passing. And if you don't avail yourself of that opportunity when the opportunity is there, it'll be gone for good. Season of Philosophy. Now, the next one after that is, we're almost done. The Bullseye Aim. Bang. Attempt to hit the mark. Usually we don't hit the mark. Usually we're off mark. And just remember that. Bullseye Aim. The Uphill Climb. Life's an uphill climb, ain't it? And then uphill climb, and then arena and utility. Life is an arena for the pursuit of our objectives, and we have utility as our tools are all these principles that I just mentioned, or whatever principles you are. These are just the ones I have. Utility. So that's the arena and utility, and then I think that's it. Well, like one more, right? Arena, utility. What's the last one? Oh yeah, nothing is enough. Really, this rat race, it's never enough. But nothing, it is enough. But now, as I learn more and more about the things like the Buddhist middle way, maybe not complete nothing, but really, if you can do it, nothing is enough. Okay, well, I did it. My first Good Life meditation, first video from the new home, the new space. Quiet in here. I like this. What'd you think, Rudy? Did that work out well? Yeah? Okay, you didn't bite me. That's good. Okay. Well, I wish you all well. It is now still pretty early. I'm going to be doing this a lot. And I wish you all the best. Have a good day. Make it a good life. Take care. Remember, be safe, but not too safe. Bye-bye.